Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on the other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you'll find a description of the day's astrology, as I've spelled it out here. Here, I'm going to discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll play another card that, given the context of the day's astrology, may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Four of Swords, and it's here because it corresponds in astrology to the last 10 days or the third decan of the Sun's transit here in the land of Libra. And Libra is an air sign, and swords in tarot are air element symbolism. And air element symbolism has a lot to do with our rationale, our logical mind, the thoughts we use, the plans we make, the words we use. Clearly, I'm struggling a little bit with my air element right now. So really, how you use your thoughts, your plans, and your communications. And, you know, in tarot specifically, there's often a lesson that says, you know, we can use our words to help or to do harm. So here we come to the Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords is a time of rest and sort of retreat even. You know, it's almost like if you look back at the Three of Swords, maybe you got hurt really bad, it would be normal to sort of retreat a little bit and to attend yourself until you can feel okay, until you feel like you can be okay around other people again, you know. That kind of thing. Healing, a time of meditation, a time of just getting back in touch with your own heart and mind, and, not having to fight some battle, right? It's also, given to us as a signal to reassess what it is that we can and can't do. Notice what our limitations are, and notice also what our powers are. And I also get I get an inkling on my own of just sort of waiting patiently or not so patiently, but sort of waiting patiently, just getting on with my daily life while I wait for good news to come in, or news of some kind, right? So that's the Four of Swords. It's time to take a break. It's time to get some rest. I did a reading recently where this came out, and I just knew the person was working very hard and a lot, like spending 80 hours a week working on her business easily. And I told her she needed to get some rest, and then I was like, wait, do you get massages? And she said, yeah, I used to get massages and I need to go back to getting them. So, there's a recommendation there that you do something for yourself, okay, that helps you get back into your body and get back in touch with who you are as a human being. And with that said, I'm going to turn this card over. We got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I love the Wheel of Fortune. Again, major arcana, major message card, and generally when it shows up in a reading, it just says that the wheel is spinning in your favor. Wheel of Fortune, the lesson of the Wheel of Fortune is very clear and easy. It's sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down, like life is not always fair, but, in a way, if we put ourselves in the right place at the right time, if we do the work, if we put our intentions in the right place, then we'll find ourselves sort of on an upswing and sort of on top of things. But understanding that we don't stay on top, we have our ups and downs, right? So if you're on the bottom of things, if things are looking bleak or difficult for you, understand that you'll be on top at some point as well. It's just how the wheel turns. So, but this generally, when it shows up in a reading, says, good fortune is in our favor. And I love that the wheel here looks a lot like a pentacle. It looks a lot like a moon or a sun. It looks like a coin, a shiny coin, or a plate off of which we might feast from life. So that's really cool to me, the circular nature of it, because it does just say sort of what goes around comes around. Now we see in the corners of the card all the fixed signs. Okay, so you've got Aquarius, which is air, Scorpio, which is water, Taurus down here, which is earth, and Leo over here, which is fire. So fixed earth signs, this tells me that the wheel is always turning. Okay, like it doesn't stop. It doesn't do this in fits and starts. It doesn't start turning. It doesn't finish turning. The wheel is always in motion, okay? Fortune is always in motion, you know, good luck is always in motion. And basically just life in general is always in motion. So we have to be aware of that. And then the other thing I like to point to is, you know, if you find yourself on the outside of the wheel, then you might be really sort of vulnerable to becoming overwhelmed by all the experiences that you're having, because it moves very fast and you're just in one place one moment and you're in the next place the next moment. But the closer you can get to the center, and the center of the wheel in our lives is ourselves, okay? If you can get to the center, you know, things won't feel so much like they're spinning out of control, and you can sort of take the good and the bad with a relative sense of equanimity, you know, sort of enjoying the good stuff and taking the trials, you know, in their time, because you have to have them. So, Wheel of Fortune, what does this have to say on? Well, I love the Wheel of Fortune to go with Jupiter. Jupiter and Neptune are really close together right now. Technically, some would say they're conjunct because they're within 7 degrees of each other. They're within 10 degrees. They're at 7 degrees from each other right now. But, you know, Jupiter and Neptune, it could be easy to confuse them even, because Jupiter really wants you to dream big, okay? Jupiter is a giver. It's very much about personal expansion. It's very much about growth, the things that you need to, you know, the kind of, how do I give you the experience you need to have the growth that you want to undergo, right? What kind of education, what kind of travel, what kind of business, what kind of work do we need to do to get you to grow your own sense of what you can be, do, and have, so that you can think big and sort of live a big, happy, prosperous life. That's what Jupiter wants for us. And so it's also about faith. It's also, you know, about giving us reasons to have faith that the universe is kind and loving, right? And then Neptune is really more about the dream. It's more about just a sort of it's a lot more watery, and it's like a great big lake, right? That doesn't really seem to have any boundaries from the center. So it's just like whatever you could dream up, and you can dream up your most ideal circumstances if you want. When they're so close together, I really see them working together that way, like Jupiter encouraging us to dream because we want growth and expansion, and Neptune saying, yeah, I'll help you think about what kind of growth and expansion you want to find. So that's very good fortune. These two have been in opposition, you know, for weeks, with the Sun and Venus and Mercury in their turn. They are not in opposition anymore. Neptune right now is in this quincunx with Sun and Venus, actually making us feel a little weak and vulnerable, a little open. Look, this can be a good thing, especially if you're feeling like emotionally weak and vulnerable. It can be a good time to have a conversation with somebody that you're close to, that you trust, and, you know, who will actually listen to you, okay? It can really be unburdening just to say what is in your heart. So yes, good fortune will follow those who follow the guidance of Neptune and Jupiter at this time, okay? And then taken together with the Four of Swords, you know, I was just talking about how if you can get to the center of the wheel, and, you know, when we're talking about the Wheel of Fortune, we're talking about the wheel of life, the way things are always in motion, they keep turning. You know, my life revolves around me, and your life revolves around you. We are each at the center of our own Wheel of Fortune, okay? So try to be the still, calm center, you know. Don't allow the wheel to whip you around, to make you always be facing some other direction, to have you sort of clinging to the edge, trying to hang on, okay? Stay at the center. Don't be drawn out of the center of your own experience, all right? And it's so appropriate with the Four of Swords because it's saying, that it's really good for you to take this time to pause if that's where you're at right now. And if you're waiting for information to come in, probably good information is coming in soon. But also, you know, there's the aspect of this Four of Swords card that is about healing, rest, meditation, getting back in touch with your spirit. That's all language for coming to the center of your own life, coming to the center of your own being, getting back into your own body, heart, and mind, and not being whipped around by the thoughts, opinions, attitudes, and actions of the people that are in your sphere. And I believe that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate your presence. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.